Sam Howell might be great. He might be way greater than Turkey or Thanksgiving. We still don't know. But clearly, in the last couple of weeks, we've seen Howell get on the right page with Eric Bieniemy. The play calling, the offensive line changes, the receivers are getting open. Things are clicking in Washington offensively. And for Howell, he understands that it takes a whole approach to get it figured out.
I think we're getting better each and every week. Not only just me and EB, but I think as offense as a whole. I think we're getting better each and every week, and I think he's calling some really good games. And so he'll continue to do that. He prepares so hard and always has a good plan for us. And for the most part, we've been executing it. We just got to try to continue to finish drives and finish games in the fourth quarter.
All right, big man. So Sam always says the right thing, and seriously, I think it's sincere with that kid. He's just being himself, and he's a self-deprecating, modest, humble guy that works really hard. Like the off-field version of Howell is an absolute dream for an organization. I mean that seriously. On field, it's looked really good, and he's got a big arm. He can make a ton of throws. Howell and EB have figured each other out. Tyler Larson has settled down that offensive line. How good is this good? How real is this good? And how far can it go?
I think the good can be really, really good. I think we have to continue to see it, keep moving in the right direction. There's been 2 good games in a row. It's going to be important to make a 3rd good game in a row up in Seattle. And Seattle's a tough place to play, not just because of the noise, but because there might be a little weather, might be a little rain on Sunday. And we haven't seen Sam play in weather before, at least not in the NFL. So I think that'll be a good step. But I think you're starting to see everybody start to get on the same page. And Sam Howell you talked about a dream quarterback off the field and, getting to be really good on the field. The things that he says, he's such a good guy in terms of deferring credit, to other folks, talking about how good the offensive line is. But to be honest, if you look at, PFF has those rankings every week, Tyler Larson and Chris Paul aren't ranking through the roof. Right. I think that part of the reason this offense is starting to move better is him getting on the same page with Eric Bieniemy, the speed of getting the ball out, getting the ball in the playmakers' hands. I think Sam's starting to understand, quick first and second reads instead of holding it too long, which obviously we saw a little bit earlier in the season. This Seattle Seahawks.
We saw a lot of that.
The Giants are now.
It was a major problem. It was like a triple red flag. Nobody's allowed in the ocean kind of problem. And now all of a sudden it seems fixed. Like rarely does something go from day to night like that. It is stark, the difference.
Part of it also is the defensive teams that they're playing, the pass rushes that they're playing. They've had a pretty humble group of pass rushers that they've played against the past 3 or 4 weeks. That didn't stop those humble groups early in the season. Early in the season, it didn't stop those humble groups from getting after him.
Philly's not a humble group. Man, they played Philly 2 weeks ago.
Bears, Atlanta, both pretty bad.
Yeah, they came in last and left not last, though.
Great at getting pressure.
I'm with you, but the change to me is not the groups they're playing. It is him. It is Sam, and I think it's Bieniemy, dude. I think we saw way too many 5-step drops, 7-step drops, especially early in the game. I feel like the plays were always there to be made. Sam wasn't making them, and I think Eric has shifted to more balance, a lot more stuff at or near the line of scrimmage early in games, just to get everybody comfortable and settled down. And everybody means Sam Howell. I don't know why I'm using veiled language there. And then, and I think he's also mixed it up. Like they'd run draws and screens, whereas that stuff went away for a while. The Giants game, I think with Bieniemy in New York, it was like, all right, clearly this ain't working, but I'm going to keep doing it because I'm stubborn as hell and going to figure it out. Are you getting the same stuff on social media I'm getting where people, the amount of like side-by-side comparisons to Howell and Mahomes and Howell and Hurts and Howell and Burrow, like chill out. I think the kid's really good. I think he could become the franchise quarterback. I think right now there is zero question he's the starter the remainder of the year and the starter next year.
Well, and this weekend's going to be a good opportunity against the Seattle defense that, quite frankly, the Seahawks are very similar to the Commanders in terms of they got playmakers on offense and they try and get the job done on defense. There aren't too many big names on that Seahawks defense. It will be interesting. You talked about the Giants game, kind of the side-by-side comparison with Leonard Williams being in Seattle now. and the havoc that he wreaked with Nick Gates at center when they were in New York, and now Tyler Larson in Seattle. That'll be kind of a nice apples to apples comparison between the two centers to see what happens. But putting together 3 big weeks in a row will go a long way in terms of, helping kind of quell any fears that folks have about whether he is or isn't the guy.